There we go. All right.
All right, we're
Hey,
just about a minute out. 1 minute.
We are live on Facebook.
Wonderful. 1 minute.
This is Colleen Biggs. I'm with my co-host Dee Daniels.
I'm Dee Daniels,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to be here with everybody today.
We have
How you
Janice
guys?
Jackson today. She's in the studio visiting us. And so if you guys have any comments, throw them up there. We will be sure to try to get to those as quickly as we can. And welcome all of our viewers today. Again, this is Voice America in the radio. Speak Up to Lead Up. We are Lead Up for Women. And we are about empowering women to live their best life and be their best and follow their dreams. So we welcome you guys joining us today. And stay tuned because you will be listening in live to our radio show, which is about to start in 30 seconds. Thank you all for being here today. All right. You get all the behind-the-scenes stuff, too, which is super fun.
That's right.
And Dee's not just on her phone surfing.
I'm not.
She does a lot of posts, so
All right.
and she'll make sure she checks the comments.
All right, sending the feed your way. Have a good show.
Thanks.
It's staff and management.
Welcome to Lead Up for Women. Speak Up to Lead Up with Colleen Biggs and Dee Daniels. Are you ready to lead without permission and take the steps needed to live your best life? Whether you want to start the business of your dreams or celebrate your present and future accomplishments, you're definitely in the right place. Now, here are your hosts, Colleen and Dee.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and I am joined by my co-host.
I'm Dee Daniels. Hi, everybody.
Welcome, Dee Daniels. And in the studio today, we have Janice Jackson.
Hi, everybody. Janice here.
She is the president of sales and marketing for Plexus, and we're going to be speaking with her in just a few minutes. But first, we'd like to get caught up with Lead Up for a minute. We are super excited about planning our luncheon that we have here in Arizona, in Scottsdale, Arizona, at the Courtyard Marriott. Give them a little shout out. That is going to be on April 25th.
April 25th.
11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we will have a panel of strong women that will be there. We will have lunch served. We're going to have some active networking.
Right.
So if you're out there looking to grow your business and bring in some new developments and actively network with some other women, along the way you'll have some inspiration and some motivation, as well as listening to the stories, especially if you're stuck. You know, I think we tend to get stuck a little bit along the way in business, and this gives us an opportunity to listen to some women that have some really great stories of how they've overcome some adversity and some issues with in business, especially being a woman in business. And so I wanted to go over our lineup for the April luncheon and remind you that if we still have some seats left, they're selling very quickly, but you can go to www.leadupforwomen.com/events.
Right.
And that will give you the opportunity to get signed up for that April event and want to make sure you get your seat at the table. We're going to have Vanessa Siren. She was on last week on our radio show. She will be there as one of the panel speakers. We also have Audrey Monell, the president of Forrest Anderson Plumbing and Air. She's been on Voice America before. And she was just voted as top 10 most influential women in 2019. Very exciting to have her on our panel. She has a lot to share, as well as Deborah Bateman. She is going to be in the studio next week.
Yes.
And Deborah Bateman is the vice chairman at National Bank of Arizona.
Yes.
And what I love about Deborah is she worked her way up from a teller.
She did.
All the way up the ladder.
Yes.
And I just love that courage and drive about Deborah. And we'll get to meet her in the studio next week. And then she will also be at our luncheon. So I definitely don't want to take any more time away from Janice. We're super excited she's here. So welcome, Janice.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here.
we're so glad that you were able to join us today. And I'm a huge fan of yours as far as the servant leadership that you practice in supporting people, and that transparency you have with those connections. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
As you can probably tell, I'm not really from Scottsdale, Arizona.
No.
I was actually born and went to university in Scotland, so the accent has stuck and never left me. Started my career down in London, and a bit like the guest you were just talking about, started at the bottom as a lowly product manager, developing products. I was working in pharmaceutical. I was working in FMCG, we call it in Europe, fast-moving consumer goods.
Right.
And as I made my way up in my career, I kind of worked with the motto, my own motto of never settling. You know, if I wasn't feeling that I was doing the best I could, making the biggest difference I could, I would always move on. So I've moved quite a lot, but in pursuit of those goals. And I was very fortunate to be invited to join a direct selling company, still in London at this time. And you'll all have heard of it, Avon. And
I think so.
I worked in the management ranks there across Europe. I speak French and German, as many of us Europeans do. We're so close to each other. We need those languages.
Right.
So worked in the global area, and then found my way. Was headhunted actually into a company called Amway, which is the biggest direct selling
with that one.
company in the world. And was doing my thing, and a lot of what I was doing, I was representing 33 countries at the time in the marketing arena, was really had a global application. So found my way to being asked to join the global headquarters, and that meant a move for myself and my husband, my two wee girls, to Ada, Michigan from London, which was really quite
a trek.
change.
Quite a change, I would say. I totally agree with that.
But I loved it. I love America. I love the land of opportunity. I still believe it is the land of opportunity. And one of the things I love about America is the glass half full mentality. It really is a land of possibility, and I always felt at home here. So worked across the globe for Amway, and spent much of my time in Asia. We had a lot of business there, and then went back to pharmaceutical for a little bit, and because it was a headhunting situation, on paper the job of my dreams. And once I went there, I realized just how you don't know what you've got till it's gone. You know that saying?
Right.
I realized, oh my goodness, direct selling is such a wonderful industry, and you're giving back, and you're seeing the impact of your work and your efforts every single day, right?
Wow.
And I realized pharmaceuticals, nothing wrong with that industry, but it didn't fulfill me the way I'd felt so fulfilled. Not just in supporting the people who were trying to be independent business owners and the customers that we had, but also in leading major teams.
Wow.
More and more teams over the years, global teams, a lot of females, and helping them develop their careers. And through the years, I worked with a self-mastery consultant who really helped an awful lot of my teams, and really with focus on the woman, really develop their own purpose, their own presence, be comfortable in their own skin, and really it was all about bringing EQ into the workplace and focusing on the importance of EQ and the balance between the women and the men and in the workplace. After those days, I spent the last decade with very, very fast-paced, hyper-growth companies. And I can honestly say for about 6 of those years, they really are a blur. Because we were moving
sometimes.
moving so fast, growing so fast. But what I found mattered most to me and stuck with me the most in all of those crazy times was making a difference in people's lives, be it the independent business owners we were servicing, much like a franchise model, or the customers we were supporting, usually with nutrition and wellness products, but also helping people step up in their careers and really understand the value that they bring that sometimes I think a lot of women fail to see in themselves.
Right.
And then I was, just one last wee bit of my story, I was about to sort of semi-retire. I was telling Colleen about this. I was going to set up my own, surprise, women's empowerment marketplace, an e-commerce marketplace, because I really am passionate about that. Yeah. Had a few partners, set up the company as a public benefit company. That's the kind of company where you say, this is what we do for our shareholders, our customers, but also for the public benefit. So it was all about that. And then the owner of Plexus Worldwide here in Scottsdale called me and said, please come and talk to us, etc., etc. So I did. I swung by and talked to him saying, no, I'm going to do my own thing now. And he said, but Janice, if you come to Plexus, which is largely in America, just opened Canada and Australia, but largely in America, he said, you'll have the opportunity to empower our 700,000 ambassadors and customers. Wouldn't you like? And I thought, okay, well, that's a great way to reel me in. It's a really good way to reel me in.
That was a pretty good one, I would think.
Because I thought, my little startup might reach this many, but if I come and support Plexus with their growth goals, which are literally, they don't have a goal of a number of dollars. Their growth goals are to reach out to as many people as possible, 92% are women, with a health and happiness mission and message.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, Janice, tell us a little bit about Plexus, because a lot of listeners may not know what we're talking about. They may not know what Plexus is.
Sure.
So tell us about the company. Give me a little bit of background history on the company, and then we're going to talk a little bit about your role as president and what you do there.
Okay. Plexus started here in Scottsdale, Arizona 10 years ago.
Okay.
Two founders, Tal Robinson, Alec Clark, and they started with a breast check kit, believe it or not. And in the direct selling industry, you're selling product to independent business owners who can share the message and earn commissions and spread the word of the products. We branched out into microbiome gut health products, which was way ahead of its time, by the way. Gut health is in the mainstream these days, but in those days it was quite new science. As well as weight management products. So we have the fuller portfolio now. But also the Plexus Worldwide was starting at a time when the internet and the social media was really taking off, the social media aspect.
Right.
And it just flourished. It's a close to $600 million company now, 10 years later.
Wow.
Largely only, as I said, in the United States. Canada launched last year, and we just launched Australia. And it's as I say, over 92% women, and they're basically sharing products that they love, and a newfound independence that they love by being able to be their own business owners.
Wow, that's impressive, and I felt like that was important because that way the listeners get to know a little bit about at least the company and what you guys do. Now, your role as president in sales and marketing, tell me about that. How did that come to be, other than I know that he called you and said, you're not going to retire. You got to come here and lead 700,000 people. And you were like, okay, I'm on the way. How did that go? Tarl and Alec, the founders, asked myself and another colleague of mine, Christopher Pear, to join as two presidents to help them run this phenomenal company. Okay. So on my side, sales and marketing, I have the sales division, the marketing division, product development and product management, as well as customer service. Wow.
And then my partner in crime, I call him, Christopher, he runs operations, finance, legal, the international side of things, and IT.
Wow.
So that's nice. And I know Colleen was asking me when we chatted earlier. She said, how much of your structure, your leadership is female, and I said largely on my side it's female, and on Christopher's side it's male.
Interesting.
But that's not because Christopher and I designed it that way.
No.
It's simply the type of functions that we are responsible for tend to attract either males or females.
But I think that's important because when you start talking about leadership in women, and when you have somebody at that C-suite level, I think it's just super important because you are that vision for women to see that, oh, wow, I can do this too.
Yes.
And as you're out there obviously having contact with hundreds and thousands of women, you're able to help build new leaders and just kind of give kind of a roadmap for women to figure out how to do things. So I think that's super impressive. How do you see yourself in that role in helping to lead women and pull other women up in the space?
Well, I think it's a bit of leading by example, being a role model, but also consciously supporting, being intentional.
Yes.
About it. And now we have phenomenal men, do not get me wrong, in our structure, but making sure that all sides are heard. We have a mutually respectful and built on trust context within the corporation. And actually, if you ask around, I think you'll find that one of the things Plexus is best known for is its culture, both in our headquarters and also in the field. And we really work at that every day. We're always saying to ourselves and to each other that we need to nurture culture every single day. It's so easy to go wrong if you hire maybe a great big ego, big diva type who's got their own agenda instead of the company agenda.
Right.
So when we're screening, we take time to hire, and we really screen not just for skill set, of course, and track record, but also, are they a good fit for us? Will they join our ranks and be respectful and also value the values that we do?
Right.
Tell me, why servant leadership? I'm a fan of servant leadership. It's when I do speaking engagements or presentations, I always have that as part of the agenda for the presentation. Tell me a little bit about why servant leadership for you.
Well, I really think people kept telling me in my career that I was a very different leader, and I didn't really know what that meant. I was just being me, and I think I realized that I was a servant leader before the term was coined.
Exactly.
And then when I met other servant leaders starting to talk about servant leadership, I recognize
They
that.
just put a name to it.
That's right.
Yeah, I think we were all there long before, right?
I think so many, particularly women. I know some phenomenal male servant leaders
Absolutely.
too. But it really speaks to, for me, what it's about is you're leading a team or you're inspiring a field. It doesn't matter. What it entails is making sure the goal is understood, the vision is cast, the team members understand what behaviours are expected. What success looks like, how it's going to be measured, and then getting out their way and providing the resources and the support. And then you're in a support role. To me, there's nothing more exciting than seeing someone blossom in their career.
Right. The goal is to empower them to be able to do the same in leading. And what I love about servant leadership is it's not about title or position. It's really about influencing others through the compassion and love, and really genuinely digging in to want to bring out what they are so amazing at, and fostering that and nurturing that. And then they just fly. And that's how you earn the respect to be a great leader. Right. Not because they gave you a title.
Exactly. It's all about the team. It's all about the individuals. Yeah. And the stronger the individuals, the better the results all around. Right.
Real quick, I know we're going to be going to break here in about a minute, but you had mentioned a story to me the other day when you were asked to go down onto the customer service floor and just kind of have a presence. And I was shocked by your response on that. Maybe share with the listeners why you didn't feel you needed or wasn't sure why you needed to go.
Right.
Yeah.
One of our owners said, I think it's really important. We're going through a lot of change management with customer service. I think it's really important that you be there and be seen. And there was a hesitation. I'm very try to be self-aware.
Sure.
And I thought, why would I make a difference to them? And
Right.
your little voice is there
Yeah.
saying, even no matter what you achieve, I think you always have that little voice saying, really, would that make a difference to someone if I?
Why do you want me to go?
Of course, off I went and
Yeah.
had a fabulous
Yeah.
group of
needed you.
conversations, and
Yeah.
and they enjoyed meeting me. I enjoyed hearing from them, and
Yeah.
it just reminds you do it and do
Right.
it often. Never assume that
That's
you're not going to
great.
help or make
Thank
a difference.
You. Thank you, Janice. I hate that we even have to go to break
I
because I've
know.
enjoyed talking to Janice, and she's so busy. She has to rush back to Plexus, and we want to thank her so much for being with us today.
Absolutely.
And your
Thank you.
insight and your leadership is just amazing. And thank you for sharing your stories with us today. Janice is going to be at our April luncheon. You can find her there on April 25th. You can go to our website at www.leadupforwomen.com/events. She's also going to be featured in our magazine
Yes.
that comes out this month. So there's an opportunity there. You can go to our website and go to our membership section to
Right.
join and get a copy of that magazine. So again, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Janice.
Janice.
And
Thank you
we're going to
both.
head to break. And when we come back, we're going to have Gina Noda on the phone with us. So we'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
Yay.
All right, perfect. Good job. All clear.
Woohoo.
A little over, but it wasn't too bad.
That's
So-
great.
Hi, Facebook.
right,
How
see
you
you
guys
guys.
doing?
All right. Thanks so much for being
Thank
in here. It
you.
was so great.
Yes,
That was
no
wonderful.
problem.
You did
Great.
awesome.
You did. Thank
Good.
you so
The
much,
timing
Janice.
was perfect.
Perfect.
All right.
And we will see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Definitely.
That'll be
Good luck with the
so
rest of
great.
the
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
You're going to head out? Yep. Robert, do you mind walking her out? Thank
Bye,
you. I'll see you.
Robert.
Drive all day with everything into the airport.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, you want me to
Bye.
patch in Gina?
Yeah, hello? Oh.
Right here.
No, let me patch her in. All right, you're connected.
Hey there, Gina. Are you
Hi,
there?
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good. We just finished with Janice, so she just stepped out. So when we come back, I'm going to introduce you, and then we'll just start asking you questions. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, great.
Already.
And then before we close, then today, I know you have your little saying that you say to empower them, and I think I have one I want to say too, so that way before
I'll
we
make
close
sure.
out.
Yeah, for
So
the
we'll
third.
both- yeah. So
Yeah.
before we close out, we'll both say something empowering.
Oh, I love that.
I know I wrote up something for us.
Good.
I've been working it.
All right, we're on Facebook,
Facebook,
Live,
you
so we
guys.
just want to say hi out there.
Hi, what are you guys doing? Tell us something. Somebody tell me you're there.
Yeah. Let's get a comment going, or you can ask a
Who's out
question,
there?
and we'll try and answer that for you. Janice was great, wasn't she?
She
She's such an
was.
inspiration.
Oh my gosh, she was.
She's just, her energy is so sweet.
I spent
Wonderful.
some time with her earlier talking, and she has a fascinating background.
Yeah.
And love the
Very
fact she speaks
fascinating.
all these different
Languages.
languages. And it's not easy sometimes just, moving to a new place. And I know myself because I've done that. And, she moved here and didn't
Or a
know
new
anybody.
country,
and
for that matter.
Yeah, that first. And then,
Yeah.
traveling around. And she had a great story. And
Yeah.
she's definitely about empowering women, which is what you and I are about.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
great interview.
That's what
was.
Lead Up for Women's all about.
Absolutely,
We're here
absolutely.
for empowering women.
Okay, we are coming back in about 12 seconds.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thanks.
12 seconds, huh?
VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
All right, you guys. Nope, we're not back.
No. We were almost back.
You're
though.
listening to Lead Up for Women. Speak up to lead up.
Technical
to reach the show
difficulty.
today,
Can I
please
classify
call
that as a technical difficulty?
Hey, we got it, though.
1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141.
Yes, right?
You may also
Take
send an
two.
email
Let's
to
try it
info
again.
at leadupforwomen.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Lead Up for Women. Speak Up to Lead Up. I am your host, Colleen Bakes, and I am joined by the beautiful co-host,
Oh,
Dee
you
Daniels.
are too kind. She's gorgeous.
We
Hi,
are
you
live
guys.
on
How are
Facebook
you?
feed right now, and we're going to have that out on our Facebook page, Lead Up for Women. For all of you listeners that want to go out there and like our page and follow us, that's a really great area for you to follow us because we put all of our events out there.
We do.
All of our latest and greatest news of Lead Up for Women. So Facebook and social media is a great way to follow us. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course our website,
Right.
www.leadupforwomen.com. And
we are social.
Yes, we are. We just had the beautiful Janice Jackson here in the
Yes.
studio, and she is the president of sales and marketing for Plexus here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and she has a wonderful story.
Yeah,
so
she
if
does.
for some reason you just joined us, please go back later and listen to the podcast so that you can hear her story
Right,
because she
right.
really leads with that servant leadership heart and empowers women along the way consciously. I love when she said
does.
consciously, and that really rolls us into our next
Yeah.
guest on the show. We have Gina Noda on the show, and she's going to be speaking in just a minute. She's the founder and principal of Connect Source Consulting Group, and talk about a conscious leadership. Gina is also a member of Conscious Capitalism, so I am not going to try to explain any of that. So I'm going to let Gina talk a little bit about her business and groups that she's part of and how she leads with love and a servant heart as well. Welcome, Gina.
Well, thank you for having me.
Hi, Gina. How are you? This is Dee.
I think
Hey,
Gina's
Dee,
coming
how are
all the
you?
way from New Jersey today. Is that right, Gina?
Yeah.
My hometown.
Jersey girl.
You can take a girl out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the girl. Is that what they say? Yeah.
That is true, for sure.
Welcome, Gina. So tell the listeners a little about you, maybe your history and how you started, this business and what drove you here.
Sure. So I've always kind of been a servant leader. I'm an Italian Greek girl in a family, so it's all about serving others and cooking and family and lots of love. So I was a certified nurse's aide all through high school. Then I went to nursing school. So it's always been, part of my core essence of who I am is helping others. And I got pregnant at 22 and ended up working for my father because I couldn't do the lifting, so they put me out on disability, and which was in the design and construction industry. And I started there about 22 years ago. I worked for my father's construction company for 15 years, growing his business. Then I went to the architecture side for 5 years to learn the front end of the industry. And then about 2 years ago, I decided to start my own business. After parting ways with my employer, I had a year non-compete that I couldn't, take a position with somebody else. So during that time, I took time off, really figuring out, what I wanted to do with my life. I knew that I wanted to help others in a great way. I just wasn't sure how to do it. And actually, the industry is the one who kind of put me into this position. I always say, to people, when you're served lemons, make lemonade. But not only make lemonade, do it with a twist of lime and a splash of cranberry, like a little bit of you. You have to be unique to yourself. So with that said, for a year, I kept doing me within the industry, all of the volunteer organizations that I was part of. And my retail clients would call me and say, Gina, do you have an architect? And the vendors were calling me and saying, hey, can you make an introduction to, Walmart? Can you help me get in the door of Panera? And so I just kept doing it, and everybody kept saying, why don't you do this as a business? And I kept saying, I don't want to be a broker. I didn't know how to monetize my heart.
Yeah.
And speaking of, conscious leaders and women leading up, Kim Goey, sat with me in New York in her office on a whiteboard and put, everything that I envisioned, really what I wanted to create. And, who was my hero growing up was Mother Teresa. And I always say I wanted to be a modern day Mother Teresa, because she didn't wear 6.5-inch heels. I do.
Right. Well, when you're short, I'm short too. My heels are probably about 4.5 inches today.
Yeah. So with that said, she said, Gina, and the whole time I kept denying, people kept offering me money, and I would be like, no, just write me a letter of recommendation. And this is what clicked with me. She said, Gina, you want to help others. The people who make the most amount of money in the world are the ones who can do the most. If you are not making money or helping yourself, how can you help anyone else?
Absolutely.
Makes good sense.
With that said, I met, I was supposed to take a position with a company, and I had told them, my visions of what I wanted to do. And I had 2 great men who sponsored and kind of pushed me into, I kept saying, when I would meditate, the word connect kept coming to me. And because that's what I do, I connect people. And then, of course, Source, connected to Source energy to me is connected to God, divine. I allow the Source energy, life force, to live through me here as the vehicle to do good work for everyone. With that said, my foundation of the company is built on conscious capitalism. I am the co-founder of Philadelphia Chapter and part of this global movement, which is doing business to elevate all of humanity. And so I use the design and construction retail world as my platform to make money, but really to do what I want to do in the world is to help others. So that's, and I spread the conscious leadership, to everybody that I touch.
So how do you utilize the conscious capitalism, that global movement? How do you use that every day in your company or outside of what you do in your company to empower others?
So basically, a conscious leader, and being conscious is, it's an individual on top of an organization, and how you can, and I work with multiple organizations all across the United States, vendors, retailers, national brands, and you just, it's about inspiring and empowering others to be authentic, to be true to themselves, and that being true to themselves, showing people that their individuality is being included and they're being accepted, respected as part of a team.
Yeah.
And, to work more collaboratively instead of competitively. I always say, teamwork makes the dream work, which is really true. When you work together as a team, you can go a lot further. You can accomplish a lot more things. Different perspectives, different ideas make, magic. That's what creates, the successful business. Conscious leadership has 4, rules. It's about being a conscious leader, inspiring and empowering not only your employees, but everybody you touch. Stakeholder orientation. So you make sure, like for me, Connect Source Consulting Group, everyone that I connect, all stakeholders, I want them to win. It's not about me. My success is the success of others, right? I want my clients to win. I want the vendors to win. I want their employees to win. And when you do that work this way and you have a conscious culture, which is like I tell everybody, people, purpose, passion, planet, then profit.
Okay.
And then all your focus is on a higher purpose. Everybody, it's not about money. It's about people feeling good within. And when you have employees who all feel good, I always say work and play attitude. When you're having more fun, you're more successful. It's a win-win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. It's so funny because I feel like that's exactly what Lead Up for Women is. It's what we do. It's the platform that we provide so that women like you, Gina, and Janice, and Deborah, and many other women that we've, Robin Hatcher, that we've had at our luncheon, so that we can all come together. I love the teamwork aspect of that.
Right,
all come together as a team and elevate each other through genuine, conscious love and awareness and wanting the genuine best for that person, not for your own, advancement in that,
but
for others.
And I guess what I would like to know is that as a connector, because that is at the core of what you do, as a connector, what type of advice do you have for other women that are out here? Because one of the most difficult things sometimes is networking and putting yourself out there. So how would you help other women to kind of take that leap into being able to position themselves to be, their own connector at times?
Yeah.
As I said, I'm in the design and construction industry, and I'm 45 years old. And when I started in the industry, I knew nothing about construction, nothing about design. I have a nursing background. I worked for my father, and I went to the Retail Contractors Association. It's one of the organizations I'm part of. I was 23 years old, and here I am with a bunch of men, women in construction, who all looked at me like, who is this, girl? As I said, clueless, and I never pretended that I knew. I asked questions. I was open to ask for advice. I never lied. I was always true to me, and I was very respectful to people. So a lot of women say, in a male-dominated industry, they struggled. I agree that us women, we do have to work harder. But I also was embraced because I was true to me. One of the first things that I said to myself going into this dog-eat-dog business world is, what am I going to do? There were 100 other general contractors doing the same exact thing I was doing. Mm-hmm. So the question I asked myself is, how am I going to sell, services that 100 other people in this room, what differentiates me than them? And the answer that I was given, again, I always say I'm very blessed and very spiritual, was me. I had to be true to me. And if I was unique and true to me, I would succeed. So I would tell every woman, and stand firm. There will be people, and especially when I started at 23, there were other women. I not only had to, a male-dominated industry, but 23 years ago, women weren't so kind to other women. It's a different movement now, but I also was, there was a lot of jealousy that you have to go through. So I just always held true to be who I am, no matter what people said, no matter who talked about me. And I just was always comfortable standing my ground. So I would just say, be authentic, be you, have confidence, no matter what people say and think, and you will have victory.
Believe in yourself. I love that. It's a good message, Gina. I know that networking with others requires hustle. And it requires doing something that may be uncomfortable. And I love the saying, you better get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if you're comfortable, you're not growing and you're not learning. And if you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing and you're learning and being yourself and throwing yourself out there. And you talked about source energy. We talked a lot about that on the last show, about really just putting out there what your reality is and what that avatar is and who you want to be and what you want in your life and what you want it to look like, and then going after it, but being genuine to you. That is what makes everything about what each individual woman does unique. Is you are the only you. I say this at the end of every show. Absolutely. You are the only you that has ever existed or been, and you will be the only you that has ever been. So be you and lean into the strongest self that you are, because that is what makes you unique to everything that you do. And I want to just quickly say hi to we have Dina and Marilyn listening. And Cynthia. I just wanted to quickly reach out and say hi to our watchers on Facebook. So hi, we have Gina Noda on the line. And yes, go ahead, Gina. My apologies.
Oh, no, one of the other things, I always tell everybody, men, women, everybody I touch, is we are co-creators. You are a co-creator of your own reality by your thoughts. Keep them positive. Keep them focused on what you want to create for your life, because you're creating your reality, by your thoughts. And always be led when you do, the mind and the heart, when you're led by your heart and, that's it, you want to do the right thing by others. And like you said, always thinking of others. It also is selfish too. By helping others, I heal myself. I mean, that's really true. When you're out there and you're vulnerable and you're having conversations it's not just, I tell people that business model is crap and I don't follow it. I do business the way I live my life with my heart. Really, I care about people. I have conversations that matter. It's not just, surface conversations about business. I really, truly care about the people I'm working with and the end goal for everybody.
Well, I think you definitely inspire a lot of women because I really like the diversity of the type of women that we bring onto this show. And you come from a space that, has been male dominated.
Yes.
And you kind of position and show women from that, particular segment. So I think that's like super good. And I think, I like the fact that you are out there empowering other women and helping them, to do what you do and leading by example. And that's what you do out here.
It's a tough space. I was in that space for about 15 years. And like I've mentioned on the show before, it was very few women in the room. And I met Gina many, many, many years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I don't even know how long it's been now. And Gina has an energy about her. She does have an honesty about her. Right. I believe that walking through life honest, you never have to remember what you said or did because you're 100% honest in everything you do. So, and then always looking out to serve others. Gina, that's just a wonderful example for women, especially women that aren't really sure how they're unique. It really is just about leaning into who you are and understanding that it's your individuality that makes you unique and how you treat others and knowing that that's the mark that you leave and that you make on others. So I really appreciate you, Gina, sharing that. We are going to be heading to break here just a second. So I wanted to let our listeners know that as we come back from break, we still do have Gina, you're going to be joining us at our luncheon because you're going to be here in Arizona. So when we come back from break, I wanted you to share with the listeners about your Conscious Capitalism. You have a conference that's going on. So maybe tell the listeners a little bit about how they can get involved in that, as well as we do have a few seats left. So at www.leadupforwomen.com/events, we still have some seats left for that Arizona luncheon. And then, of course, we're going to be heading off to Atlanta and then on to Philadelphia in June. So we will be right back with Gina Noda.
All right, great job. All clear. Back in about 2.
All right.
Yay.
All right, we're on break, Gina. Nice work.
Hi, you guys. How are you?
Did I talk too much? I'm sorry.
No, you did not. You did not. There's so much that you have to say that is inspiring to other women that are maybe in a situation where they do want to grow their own business or start something or go out on their own and they're afraid to take that leap. And I think your passion and your commitment to how you can do it is inspiring to other women. You're very inspiring to other women. So I want to thank you so much for you didn't talk too much, so you're fine. Hi Facebook listeners, I just want to kind of give a shout out there. We have a video going, so Gina, we'll share that. You're not on Facebook, but I will share that on LinkedIn. And then you can go ahead and share that on I'll tag you in it and you can share it on your page.
I am on Facebook.
Oh, good.
I just don't really use it, but I'm on there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll make sure it's on LinkedIn because I know you use that a little bit more. And then when we come back from break, please, I'll share with your listeners so that they can find out how to get in contact with you for your services, and then also a little bit about the Conscious Capitalism so that we can make sure that they have that time to be able to reach out to you, to have that time to market your business when we get back from break.
Right.
Those on the podcast can't hear our conversations right now, but those on Facebook Live
Facebook Live gets all the good stuff.
You get to see.
They get to see Dee on the
because
phone,
podcasts
and they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you on the phone?"
They get to see me
Talk
drinking
to
my
us, look at us.
Suja again. I show my
Right.
Suja every week on the show, and I've put it out there for every company that wants me to use their products
That's
on our
right.
show.
I mean, hey,
give
it's
me
live,
a call. Yeah, we're at info at leadupforwomen.com. You can reach us there, and you can go to our website. And reach us out there. So anyone
Right.
on Facebook Live, that's a great way to get your products in front of
That's right. We'll
others.
put them right here.
We get lots of views on those videos. So Gina, thanks again for being with us today. It's been great.
Thank you for having me. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be coming back in about 20 seconds.
Sounds great.
Wow, we were talking for that long, Monk.
Monk's the best. I don't know what I would do without him.
We have the best engineers.
Mm-hmm.
Our engineers are awesome. Great team.
They make everyone look good.
They
Thank you.
do.
You're too kind. All right. Here we go. Coming back.
I love the music.
You are listening to
know, you
Lead
feel
Up for
that
Women.
music.
Speak up to
Good
Lead
job,
Up.
Colleen.
I
Good
needed it to be
job.
upbeat.
Please
I know.
call
Some of it was too serious. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in the mud.
That's
No, we didn't need that. We need perky.
9141. You may
Get
also
us
send an
moving.
email to info@leadupforwomen.com. Now, back to this week's show.
Hello, listeners. You are listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up.
Right.
Again, I am your host, Colleen Biggs.
And I'm your co-host, Dee Daniels.
Yeah, and we also have Gina Noda on the phone, and she has been sharing with us about how leading with love and being conscious about your leadership and connecting and having your heart in everything you do. But what I love the most, Gina, for me, was when you talked about just being unique and being you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I can't stress enough to everybody. And, you know, one other thing I wanted to say that I left out is we all make mistakes. I mean, my journey has been, you know, a very rocky road. I'm on track and I'm off track. You know, no matter how many times you fall, you have to pick yourself up and just look at things, you know. It's just the trials and tribulations are just making you stronger and wiser every time you come back. So mistakes are okay, you know. I always say, you never lose. You know, I either win or I learn a very valuable lesson.
Absolutely. You know, I love your focus on positivity. I was listening to Marcus Buckingham this morning, and this falls right into what you're saying. And something that struck me from a webinar that he had done, he talked about how the world studies failure and how it's not the right way for excellence. So he said, if you think about it, to have a good marriage, we study divorce. To be healthy, we study disease. And he said, you learn more about it, but it's not excellence. And he said, it's kind of backwards thinking, and we need to have more free thinking and study excellence and really be in that space. And so, you know, when employees, we think to have a good culture, we ask the employees that are leaving and do an interview of why they're leaving. It just seems so backwards.
The exit strategy.
Yeah, right? The exit strategy. Yeah, right. So, Gina, it was perfect what you just stated, because it's okay to make mistakes, but don't sit and study them and just live in them and dissect them out, because you're just wasting time in a space that's going to maybe teach you one or two things, but it won't get you to excellence. And
yeah, you just have to move on and, you know, keep moving, keep trying. And, you know, like I tell everybody, I failed quite often, you know, but just quickly fail, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get right back up.
So Gina, we know
you're way to me to get here.
Oh my gosh, it is. But you know, the journey that you've been on and being around you with your energy, how's that journey been for you?
It's been, you know, absolutely amazing. I'm only me because of all the things that I've experienced throughout my life.
Good.
You know, My heart has a lot of scars, but I always say broken to beautiful. And that's one of the things that the 2019 annual conference for conscious capitalism out in Phoenix, Arizona this year is the journey from inspiration to impact. How will you help to build a world of freedom, harmony, prosperity, and compassion? That is our focus this year. And, it's quite amazing the people that you get to meet there along the way. And as I said, by helping others, you help yourself. It's amazing.
That's awesome. But I just wanted to kind of bring us right back just a little bit to your business structure with Connect Source. Now, it's more retail. Is it like retail consulting? Because I like to give people a good sense of what you do. So let's just touch on that just a tiny bit.
Sure. So Connect Source Consulting Group, I started about 2 years ago, and I work within the retail design, restaurants, hospitality design, and construction industry.
Okay.
So I work two different ways. It's a consulting firm. I do outsourced business development for some vendors, assisting them with leveraging my relationships to help grow their businesses. And then I also work with the retailers.
Wow.
Come to me to connect them and source them various vendors, materials for specific projects, value engineering exercise, RFPs for, architects, engineers. They'll come to me, for recommendations for GCs because I'm on the marketing committee for the Retail Contractors Association.
Wow.
So I work with general contractors all across the U.S.
Okay.
And I get to recommend, various vendors. I got 2 emails today on fixture companies and signage vendors.
Yeah.
I'm constantly asked, to connect and source various different materials from vendors.
Well, I say women definitely need to get in touch with you because
and
you
how
can
do
connect
they?
them to opportunities.
Please tell us, Gina, how would a listener get in contact with you if they needed your services?
So I'm on LinkedIn, Gina Marie Noda. My phone number is area code 609-661-9636. Okay. And my email address is gina@connectscg.com.
Perfect.
And I'm always available.
Perfect.
You can text me, call me, email me, and I always respond.
Thank you for sharing that information. And then for the Conscious Capitalism Conference, how would someone get in contact with that group if they were interested in learning more?
So I am the co-founder of Philadelphia Chapter. We have chapters all across the United States. You can go on to consciouscapitalism.org and look for a chapter is nearby you, wherever you're located. Or you can reach out to me that I just provided my information, and I can give you any information that you may need.
Great.
April 23rd through the 25th, we will be at the Sheridan Wild Horse Pass in Phoenix, Arizona. You can go online and register. And we're really excited this year for all the guest speakers that we have. It's an amazing platform.
That's awesome. Thank you. Camille just jumped on and gave some information for the email address for you and your phone number. So thank you so much for sharing that. So everybody on Facebook Live for watching the video can see those comments. That's great. Gina, I can't thank you enough. I totally forgot to mention that I knew the power that Gina had with her leadership and asked her to join our group. And Gina is actually one of our advisory board members and brings so much value to our business. So thank you again, Gina, for being part of Lead Up for Women and supporting us and being at the luncheons and being there to elevate and support women through your servant leadership heart and all that you do for consciously wanting to help others be the best they can be. So thank you for joining us today. We've really enjoyed speaking with you.
Thank you so much, Gina.
Thank you, ladies, for having me. It meant a lot to me. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you. All right. So, Dee, let's talk a little bit about...
Yes.
Let's talk. Come on. Let's talk a little bit about what we have planned coming up for our luncheon. We have so much going on.
We're so busy.
Have been closing our magazine. So the new magazine coming out, we have... It's getting bigger and bigger. We do our magazine every other month.
Right.
So our January, February, February issue was our first issue.
Right.
Our March-April issue has double the content. It's a great area for sponsorships to advertise their businesses.
Right.
We have a huge reach. We have 27,000 digital reach and 5,000 subscription reach on that magazine. And the only way to get the magazine is to be a member of leadupforwomen.com, which you can certainly do at any time you can join. We have so much for our membership on what we have to offer with discounts to the luncheons. You get a heads up before the rest of the crowd. We have an online book nook for all of you for resources on growing your business, as well as you have access to all the other members that we have for Lead Up for Women.
Exactly.
And so, again, what we're doing is just providing the platform.
Movement. It's a movement for women.
Yes.
And we're in all these different cities, so you can connect with us and just check the website at leadupforwomen.com and check to see what cities that we're traveling to. So that
we're going to Atlanta, Georgia next.
Atlanta, hi.
May 22nd.
Atlanta. I can't wait. I love Atlanta.
Yeah.
I've talked to some people
it's a nice
there.
time of year,
and,
too.
Yeah, really excited about us going to Atlanta. And then we're
lining up secretly a strong panel.
We are.
We're going to be releasing who those panel members are here very, very soon. But then we're going to be in Philadelphia. So we're going to Boston. We're going to Denver. We're going to Chicago. We're going to LA.
Chicago.
We're going to Nashville. I mean,
home.
Yes. That's
Dee's home for me, Chicago.
We're going to be all over the place. So
everywhere.
This is a great time to jump on, to be able to be with us. We are planning behind the scenes, locking down the final location for our women's conference.
I know.
Speak
I'm
Up to Lead Up next year.
Excited about that conference.
March 25th and 26th, Thursday and Friday, 2020. So definitely the members are going to get some awesome perks.
Yes.
They're going to be the first to get their reservations, so they can make sure they get in there before they sell out.
Right.
And again, the seats for this next Thursday's luncheon on April 25th here in Scottsdale, Arizona, is just about sold out. I saw a few more come in while we've been on the phone here, so and been on the radio. Welcome, Amy. We're so glad that you're joining us
Amy.
today
How are you?
Facebook Live. So, Dee, do you want to tell the listeners a little about how they can subscribe to our newsletter for free, so they can get all of our latest events, and how they can find us on social media?
Absolutely. You guys can catch us, absolutely go to the website, first of all, leadupforwomen.com, and you can browse around there and find out about our events, and you actually can connect us there socially as well.
Yeah.
More importantly, I want you guys to become members. So go there, check out what that membership is all about, and click on and become a member. So that's important. Or you can follow us on Facebook. I'm calling it Face Up. Oh my
Lead
gosh.
Up now. Lead Up. Yeah.
So Facebook, leadupforwomen.com.
You never know. There may be a face up
Instagram, we're very active, and we connect with you and talk to you, and we get back to you. And even if you know a woman of power and leadership that you think that maybe we should talk to or have on a panel in all the cities that you're in, email us or send us an email at
leadupforwomen.com.
And Colleen and I will take a look and maybe add that person to the panel, or maybe that person is you.
We're here for you. We are here for all the women to bring equality to the workplace, to and beyond, to bring it to education, to communities. That's why we're here. We're here for you. So we want to hear from you. We want to know, what is it that you need? What can we provide for you? What resources? What types of luncheons that other than the way that what is it that you need to be able to elevate you in your life, in your personal life, in your community, and out there in the workplace? We want to make sure that we're providing those resources for you and doing what you need. And, I said it before, we want you to be at your best. So we encourage you to lean into who you are, to be your best, because like we said before, it was perfect as that came up in conversation, is you are the only you. You are so unique. There will never be another you.
Never.
So be you and be strong. Dee?
Be strong. And I'm going to leave it with this. I told Colleen, I said, I really was trying to work on something to leave you with and be empowered. So I came up with this. So I'm going to tell you at the end of every show to be bold, be fearless, live in the uncomfortable space in life. Let your voice change the world, and let your heart extend a friendly hand at times. You must at times be a disruptor, yet a fixer. You must lead up, and then there are times you're going to have to lean back and pull another woman forward. So I just want you to keep that in mind.
I just got goosebumps.
Be the example of excellence that you hold other women accountable for. So I'm Dee, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Dee. I want to invite all of you. That was so powerful. I got goosies.
Oh, my
God, so good. I want to invite all of you to join us next week as we have Deborah Bateman, Vice Chair of National Bank of Arizona. We also have Kristen Pogzolp in the studio with us from Mind Body Coach.
Right.
We've had a wonderful show.
Yes.
We want to thank all of you for joining us. Please make sure you listen in next week on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. You guys have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us today.
Have a great day.
All right, we're all clear. Nicely done. Good show.
Thank you.
Yay,
Thanks, Monk.
Thank you. Monk always tells us
Thank
nice
you,
things.
ladies.
Thank you,
Hi, you
Gina.
guys.
So great for you joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you so much for having
See you
me.
next
and I'll
week,
see you
sweetie.
in Arizona.
All right.
Yes, we
Woo.
can't wait.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Ladies. Excited to see you. Thank you
Aw.
again.
Thanks. Everybody on Facebook.
Thank you, Facebook.
Thank you for joining us today.
us.
We had a
Thank you.
wonderful time.
Hope
We're
you
going
enjoyed the
to
show.
post this on our feed for LinkedIn. We'll post it on our personal
Yes.
pages. I'm Colleen Biggs. This is Dee Daniels.
Right.
You can follow us.
Follow us both and follow us at
And
Lead
Lead Up for Women
Yes.
on Facebook so you know all the latest and greatest. And thanks for being with us today. Welcome, Glenn. It was good to see you. Thanks for being there.
Yes.
And we will talk to you guys next week.
We sure will.
Bye.
Bye-bye.